Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And here's what we have coming up on the docket for today's show. A Week 4 preview as the Niners play host to the New England Patriots. Kickoff set for Sunday, Week 4, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific there at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The over-under for this game is 40.5. That's pretty low. And the Niners, 10-point favorites in this ballgame. It's gone down a half point throughout the week. So really, a lot of the money continues to be on that Niners side, and this is a battle between two 1-2 teams who are fighting to get back to 500 during the first month of the regular season. A programming reminder, as we always do, we'll be live for our Niners-Patriots watch party, so be sure to join us on Sunday. Hit that subscribe button as we close in on another subscriber milestone. This is the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube. As for the Patriots' schedule so far, started off the 2024 season and the Gerard Mayo era with the shocking win on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals, 16-10. And I would have never envisioned that even though the Bengals under Zach Taylor have struggled in the month of September, that they would be 0-3 going into Week 4. Then the Patriots at home lose against the still undefeated Seattle Seahawks, 23-20 in overtime. And then last week, they got bounced by the New York Jets, a final score of 24-3. The Niners, on the other hand, started the season off with a really impressive 13-point win over the Jets, 32-19, as their offense just ran wild against a quality New York Jets defense, and that Jets offense never was able to find a rhythm because the Niners dominated time of possession and ran the football right through that Jets D. 23-17 loss on the road against the Vikings in Week 2 for San Francisco. They've lost 8 straight against Minnesota in Minneapolis, have not won there since 1992, and that game was eerily similar to the game last year where the offense never was able to find a groove and it came down to the wire. And then San Francisco last week blowing a 14-point lead and a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they shockingly lost to the Los Angeles Rams 27-24 in the final seconds. My initial thought with this game for San Francisco, the Niners need to turn it around. This is an expensive roster. It's a very talented roster. And if you start the year 1-3, the panic meter will be at an all-time high. You can't and should not lose this football game because the Niners are the far superior team. As for the Niners injury report, Brock Purdy had to undergo an MRI on his back after that Rams matchup. He was a full participant in practice this week. George Kittle, hamstring injury, limited participant. He did not play last week against Los Angeles. I actually thought Eric Saubert played pretty solid in his place. Deebo Samuel was out last week, but was on the practice field on Thursday. So we'll continue to monitor his situation. Christian McCaffrey on injured reserve. He's in Germany getting some treatment on that Achilles injury. And then Ricky Pearsall, this is the final week that he will be on IR with that chest injury after getting shot a couple of weeks ago in downtown San Francisco Union Square. So that is the Niners injury report. The Patriots injury report. This was on Wednesday from Mike Reese, who covers New England for ESPN. No participation. Alex Austin, Anthony Jennings, Michael Jordan, Vidarian Lowe. Limited participants this week for New England. David Andrews, the center, but that's just because of rest. The really good second-year corner, Christian Gonzalez, with a shoulder injury. Hunter Henry, ankle. John Jones, shoulder. Sidney Sowell, ankle. Caden Wallace, knee, and then the full participants, Mike Owenu, who we talked about this offseason as a potential guard upgrade for San Francisco. They decided to address that position in the draft with Dominic Pooney, and then Jabril Peppers with an ankle ailment. This is a game where the Niners are going to be able to move the ball, I believe, because the sample size has been clear for New England that they will give up yards. They don't give up a lot of points. So finishing drives with touchdowns in the red area will be key for San Francisco because you look at the Patriots' defensive rankings so far this year, they're only giving up 19 points per game. And offensive production across the league in September has been down it's pretty much extended preseason. I hate it, but when you can't hit during the summer and when starters don't play any preseason football pretty much, that's going to lead to a lackluster product in the month of September. Again, I hate it. I despise it. I think changes should be made, but that's the reality of where we are with the safety of the NFL. But nonetheless, the Patriots defense was a top 10 unit last year. They have a lot of talent and they're well coached this year. So 10th in points per game allowed. They're only giving up 2 touchdowns per game. That's 11th. But to my previous point, they're giving up 327 yards of offense per matchup. That's 19th. They're giving up 5.3 yards per play. That is 17th. And then teams have been able to convert on third downs 51% of the time. That's 29th, which is actually a spot ahead of the Niners defense. And all Brock Purdy has to do against New England is continue to do what he's been doing. Overshadowed by this awful start for San Francisco this year is the elite play of Brock Purdy. And I mean it when I say elite, because this is what Purdy has done so far in 3 games to start off the year. He is 4th in QBR at 74.1. He's 7th in completion rate. He's 2nd in passing yards. Completion percentage over expected is 9.8%. That's first by nearly double. His yards per attempt, 8.9. That's second in the NFL after he led the league in that category last year. Air yards per attempt is 9.6. That's third, so he's also pushing the ball downfield while feeding the ball into tight windows. That's the completion percentage over expected mark. He is tied for 7th in passing touchdowns with 4, and he's been extremely accurate. Off-target percentage, 8.4. That is the 3rd lowest mark in the NFL. And how about the top Pro Football Focus passing grades going into Week 4? Brock Purdy is first among all quarterbacks by a wide margin. Nearly 14 points ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Quick math right there. I'm quick on my feet. 91.8. That's pretty telling right there. Aaron Rodgers at 78. Justin Fields, a surprising start to the season for him. Arthur Smith's done a hell of a job as the Steelers offensive coordinator, 75.3. Andy Dalton carved up the Raiders last week, the most Raiders loss ever. And then Lamar Jackson at 72.4. So San Francisco will need Purdy to cook again. They might be without Debo. We'll see if he plays. I would not play him with that calf injury. He's also joining the practice field a little bit later in the week. George Kittle, we'll see. But the Niners are going to be shorthanded. So Purdy, if he continues to cook, and he's been cooking all year, even in that loss against Minnesota, when, yes, he turned it over, but had a much better performance against Minnesota than C.J. Stroud did this past week, then the Niners should be in a good spot. And an underrated game-changing ability for Purdy, his mobility. Mobility within the pocket, mobility in the pocket to buy time for his receivers downfield, the mobility and the improvisational skills that he has to break, contain, get out of the pocket to his right or left to make plays downfield, but to also run the football. And last week, it was sneaky good for him to run for more than 40 yards because he was able to show defenses that they now have to respect the run as well. If you want to bet on this game, no other better place to do it than with our sportsbook partner, and that is BetUS. We've got your game. Use the promo code Niners125 for a 125% deposit bonus. All you have to do is head to chatsports.com/49bet. You use the promo code Niners125. So if you put in $100, you get $125 back. That's $225 to game with. Here are your Week 4 betting odds. The Niners, 10-point favorites. So they are giving the Patriots 10 points, and then the over-under, it is low at 40.5. So the odds makers here expecting this to be a low-scoring game or a lopsided game where the Niners score a lot and the Patriots barely score. As part of our preview, we have to talk about this defense. This is the week that the San Francisco 49ers defense needs to get their confidence. They need to improve on some of their weaknesses. They need to solve some personnel issues, and they need to put it simply, get their shit straight. Because if there is a week for this defense to play quality football, it's against Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots. Here are the Patriots' offensive rankings going into Week 4. This is not a good offense. In fact, it's one of the worst in the NFL. So if San Francisco struggles defensively against this Patriots offense, that is an awful sign. The Patriots are scoring 13 points per game at second to last in the NFL. They are dead last in yards per game at 246. They are 30th in yards per play at 4.2. They are 23rd in third down conversion percentage. They are only scoring a touchdown when they get in the red zone 33% of the time. That's 28th among 32 teams. And they are scoring 1 touchdown per game. So again, if this Niners defense can't get it corrected, it could be a long year for the Niners. And here are San Francisco's defensive rankings. Points per game, 21st. Yards per game, 16th. Yards per play, 30th. Third down conversion rate, 30th. Red zone scoring percentage, 21st. And the Niners' core defensive issues through 3 games, 5-fold. Can't pressure the quarterback. Can't stop the run. They have had coverage breakdowns. They have had communication lapses. And they have been awful on third down. Jacoby Brissett is not a quarterback who's going to throw it 30-plus times. If he has to, that helps out you, right, as the opposition. What the Patriots are going to try to do is run the football to point number 2, and the Niners have to stop the run. Their EPA per rush over the last 4 years, in 2021 and in 2022, under DeMeco Ryans, they were number 2 in the NFL. The last 2 years, they have fallen to 26th and 28th. And Ramondre Stevenson is a really good running back for New England, and because they're limited as far as their skill position talent on the outside in the pass game at wide receiver and at tight end, they are going to rely on Ramondre Stevenson, who does have a fumbling issue. More on that coming up here in a second. Stevenson so far this year, he's carried the ball 52 times for 224 yards. He has 2 touchdowns to his name, 4.3 yards per carry, but he has fumbled the football 3 times. And you know who's going to be punching away at that football, trying to make a game-changing, game-altering play to swing the momentum to San Francisco, to get that offense off the field, and to get the defense off the field, to get some confidence boosted into this Niners defense? It's All-Pro Fred, the best linebacker in the National Football League, who has become famous for that peanut punch. My keys to the game: the defense has to eat against an anemic Patriots offense. You have to stop the Patriots' run game. Can the special teams unit for San Francisco take some pride in what they do? That unit is a straight-up joke. The offense for San Francisco has to finish drives in the red zone because the Patriots not giving up a lot of points per game. And then the Niners in this game, figure out the defensive personnel. If you have to bench Devondre Campbell, do it. If you have to bench Isaac Yiadom, do it. If you need to get some younger players in the fold, do it. And what's going to help this Niners defense as well, Talanoa Hufanga continuing to increase his snap count and get some more run with this Niners defense as he comes back off that torn ACL. So predict the score: Niners, Patriots, coming your way Sunday afternoon at Levi's Stadium. My prediction: I don't really like the 10-point line, but I think the Niners win somewhat comfortably, 26-17. San Francisco gets back to 500.